The pentatonic scale is one of the most common scales played in Western music. If you play pretty much any European or American folk music, or blues, jazz, rock, or gospel, you won't go very far without coming across a tune or improvised solo that uses the pentatonic scale. It's a useful starting point for creating melodies, whether you're writing tunes or improvising, because this collection of notes always works really well together. Put another way, the notes of a pentatonic scale don't clash with each other. To build a pentatonic scale, let's start with a major scale and just remove some of the notes. Here's a scale of C major. If you've seen my video on the major scale, you'll know that it's built from a particular sequence of intervals: tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Notes a semitone apart sound very dissonant when played together, and you'll see that we have neighbouring pairs of semitones between the third and fourth step of the scale, in this case E and F, and another pair between the seventh and eighth step, which here is B and C. We're going to delete one note from each semitone pair, but which one? Well, a basic chord of C major is built from the first, third, and fifth notes of the scale. This makes a simple C major triad. And since E is an important chord tone, we'll want to keep it in the scale, so the first note to get rid of here is F. From the second semitone pair, B and C, C itself is an important note of the chord, so we'll keep that, which means B is the one to delete. Now we've removed the fourth and seventh notes of the major scale. By the way, not only do these two notes clash with their neighbours, they also clash with each other. If you watched my video on chords with sevenths, you'll know that these two notes are a tritone apart. That's exactly half an octave, and that interval is used to create tension because it's inherently dissonant. So, by removing the fourth and seventh notes from the major scale, we're not only removing the two semitone clashes, we're also taking out the two notes that clash with each other. And we're left with a set of 5 notes, hence the name of the scale. Here it is. To give you a taste of the sound, here's a famous melody made using nothing but the pentatonic scale. Amazing Grace, an old hymn tune, has a familiar and comforting sound. There's a simple purity to the melody which is the hallmark of the pentatonic scale. So now we know what it is. What does it do? In really basic terms, the pentatonic scale gives you the raw materials to play a simple improvised line that sounds great. Here are the notes of C pentatonic played over a chord of C. In fact, the notes of the pentatonic scale have such a sense of belonging that even when they don't strictly work against a chord, that integrity between the notes makes it sound okay. Here's another improvisation, but this time the chords are changing. They're all chords in the key of C major. The important thing to listen out for is how the pentatonic melody creates a familiar and reassuring sound, even when the individual notes might be a bit questionable over particular chords. It's the overall sound that carries it off. Finally, here's another improvised tune using the same pentatonic scale, but this time the chords are in the relative minor key. That's A minor. Listen to the way the scale now works in this minor key. So, just as we can make a relative minor scale from a relative major scale, we can make a minor pentatonic from a major pentatonic. And those relationships are the same. Check out my video on the relative minor to see what's going on here. C major pentatonic has the same notes as A minor pentatonic. G major pentatonic would also have the same notes as E minor pentatonic. F pentatonic and D minor pentatonic share the same notes, and so on. To recap then, a major pentatonic scale is created from a major scale with the fourth and seventh notes removed. A minor pentatonic scale has the same notes as a relative major pentatonic. Just go to the sixth note of a major scale to find that relative minor.